friends, welcome to another episode of, you guessed it, Cooking with Bob. And we got something very special on the menu today for you. We are going to be making Native American fried bread. There are several different recipes. We've got the old-fashioned. Traditional is what you'll get if you go to a powwow. Then each one of the tribes has a different recipe of their own. We're going to go with the Blackfeet recipe. For one reason, it's simple to make and you don't have to refrigerate anything, and it is full of freaking carbs. Now, it took me a while to perfect this recipe, so I think we got it down packed. What you're going to be needing for this recipe is 4 cups of flour. Any kind of flour will do. I just buy the cheapest you can find. The next item on the recipe, well, there's going to be several of them because I kind of pre-mixed them in this here little Ziploc. Anyway, you're going to be needing, sorry, inside joke. You're going to be needing 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of powdered milk or dehydrated milk, and then 1 teaspoon of salt. That's all the ingredients you need. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take our 4 cups of flour and we're simply going to pour them in this little bowl here. And yeah, in case you're wondering, that is a dog bowl. But it is stainless steel, so I am not too worried about it. Okay, we've got our 4 cups in there. Now we're going to add our other ingredients, and we're going to run through them one more time. 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of powdered milk, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now we're just going to simply mix the ingredients. Basically what we're doing here is using our hands to mix all the ingredients together. And this takes a little while, so be a little patient. And I think we're good. It's looking pretty good right there. Okay, we're going to get ready for the whole messy part of this project. And I did bring a lot of towels with me. We're going to need 1.5 cups of water. And a little bit more as we knead it together. The good thing about this recipe is we're not using yeast, so we do not have to wait for it to rise or to refrigerate it. So we are going to pour our water in there. This is 16 ounces. A cup is 8 ounces. So we're going to need about, well, it's a little bit over 16 ounces. I think it's 16.9. A cup of water is 8 ounces. We're going to need 2. So we're going to use probably almost 3/4 of the 16-ounce water bottle. And I probably use a little bit more than that. And yes, this is very messy. So it'll take a while to soak that in. There we go. So this is not going to be a backpacking item. This is going to be more of a base camp meal. Oh yeah. And this is going to take a little while. You're looking about 5 to 10 minutes to do it right. Now we're going to move it over here to this rock that I covered with a aluminum foil. Originally I was going to use the rock itself, but unfortunately there's a bunch of cracks in it and it would have kind of been a mess, so I decided to aluminum foil it. Let's move it over there, and we're going to try to get all our ingredients added in. And We're going to make a little bowl in the center, and we're going to pour in the rest of our ingredients and knead those together. Just get out of the way. Basically what I'm doing is I'm taking it and I'm just kind of turning it in on itself and mixing it, trying to get everything moisturized, and we'll just kind of add the stuff on the ground. Here we go. Add the stuff in as we go. And what you're looking for, see how that's pulling away and still leaving fibers right there? That means we're not kneaded all the way. Okay, now we got the bread all the way kneaded. As you can see, it's still not done. It needs to be shiny on the outside. Now, if this had yeast in it, we would have pretty much ruined it by now, because we've been at this for a good 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bitty bowl, like so. And we're going to pour a little bit more water in there, and right there in the middle. And we're just going to mush all that together. Let's put a little bit more just to be safe. And why I'm kneading this, you guys are not going to believe this. I've got the one and only man himself, Kenneth Kramm, on the phone. Ken, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
What you doing today?
Big bread with Bob or Ken. It's a lot of fun. And in fact, there are many ways to make bread.
Yes.
On the trail. And, you know, Bob, we should do a video together on all the different ways. There are yeast breads as well as there are other breads that are not yeast.
Yeah.
And breaking bread, sharing bread means a lot. And there's really a lot of meaning behind that.
Yes, it does.
Because bread is the staff of life.
Well, this bread I'm making now is a Native American Indian bread, and it doesn't require any yeast. And you could make it on a trail if you wanted to, but it is quite messy. But it should yield roughly, oh my God, if I make them small enough, we should be able to make at least 8 or 9 little loaves or little circles of it.
You know, I can't wait to taste that bread. I can see this video, because I'm going out camping soon.
Yeah.
And it's going to be filmed in a place with an abandoned village from long ago. And I know just where I'm going. It's still camping. I checked it out.
That sounds like fun.
I will make bread like you're making, Bob, on the trail, because it would be...
I'll send you the recipe.
The Native Americans would live there.
I'll definitely send you a recipe. Hang on a second, Mr. Kramm. All right, friends, we're going to add just a little bit water because I am not satisfied the way it's pulling apart. It's still somewhat fibrous. And we're just going to put a little bit more in the center and knead that together. Oh, now it's starting to get kind of shiny here. Right there, you can see that. All right, Mr. Kramm, continue, please.
Well, I really wish I was with you.
I do too.
I'm going to be investigating a place that's not just unsimilar to where you are.
Yeah.
It's an abandoned railroad, though. This railroad was abandoned in 1920, and the town disappeared.
Oh, wow.
It's an area where it was built because of logging, and the money didn't pan out, and the town disappeared. And I'm relying on old maps, and I'm going along this trail. Oh man, Bob, you would absolutely love it.
Sounds like fun. If you look real closely, friends, now it's starting to break apart and not coming into fibrous. So it is just about done. Hey, Ken, you would love today. It is misting out, kind of cloudy and 40 degrees. I got a nice fire going. And there's plenty of room under the shelter for you.
I haven't seen 40 degrees in a long time. Okay, that's done.
Oh, you got to talk to John? All right, hang on a second, Ken. I'm going to finish this off here, and then I'll get back with you in 1 second. All right, as you can see, one question before I let you go. are you going to be shooting a video of your adventure? Because a lot of people are asking.
There will be a video of the adventure that I do very soon. Also, I will be releasing a video probably next week.
Oh, excellent.
My last adventure. And I'm excited about that. And then this next adventure that I just told you about on this abandoned railroad.
Yes.
Self camping, and it's something that I started last summer, and I essentially back if I thought I really needed another person and it was too hot. Well, now that it's cooler, I'm still going to do it myself, and I'm going to do it alone. But, you know, we have cell coverage, and I may call you, Bob, for help, because, you know...
Sounds good to me. All right, hang on, Mr. Kramm. I'm going to tell him the next step here of the bread making. Okay, so you can see it's all nice and shiny now. This is the part where we're going to be doing some waiting. We need to sit here and let this bread rest for at least 1 hour. And the purpose of that is letting all the ingredients kind of combined in there. So she's going to sit there for 1 hour, and we'll bring you back, and I'll show you the next phase. We are ready for the next phase of the project. The ball has sat for an hour, and you notice it's not sticking to my hands anymore. So the next thing we got to do, and get that stick out of there. And this part's kind of a pain in the butt because I don't have a rolling pin. We need to take little bitty balls like this. Yeah, maybe a little bit bigger. And basically, actually, you know what? I got some extra flour here, and I think I'll sprinkle a little on here because we got a lot of uneven surfaces. And we need to squish this down as flat as we can. The flatter, the better. If not, it'll just poof up like you wouldn't believe. And this takes a while. Now, a little tip on doing this, it's best to flatten this out and get them all flattened out and prepped before you decide to put them into the grease. Because if you try to put these in the grease, flatten one and put it in the grease, well, things get interesting because we do and are going to flash fry these. So let's get these all flattened out and prepped and ready to go. We now have 4 pieces flattened out. I think that's going to be perfect here. I don't really want to cook any more because I'm going to waste it. And the good thing about this is, because there's no yeast, I can go ahead and take this home and cook the rest tonight. But I wouldn't wait too long because this will dry out and not be very good at all. So we're going to go ahead, throw this in the Ziploc, take it home. Because if I cook, I'm not going to be able to eat more than 4 pieces, trust me. These things really poof up pretty good. There we go. All right. Next phase, we need to get our oil on the fire. And I've already started preheating my oil on this rock over here. So we're going to put those coals there. And bring this little stick over there. And it's not going to take long for this to heat up at all. There we go. And I see we're going to get some ashes along with this. Not a big deal. I'll set this little guy on this. There we go. Come on. Yeah, not ready yet. We need to move this rock over just a touch. There we go. Alright. we're gonna let that little guy come up to temperature. Oh yeah, it's already starting to sizzle. It won't be long. So we'll give that a couple minutes to come up to temperature, and then we're gonna put our bread on. Okay, I think we're ready for the next phase of the project. I cannot stress, be very careful. You've got hot grease over an open campfire. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but I'm sure it's pretty darn hot. If any of it spills or catches on fire, it could be a bad situation, and you're going to have a not so fun day. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our bread, and we're going to simply and very carefully put it in the grease. We're going to wait until it comes all the way at the top like it's doing right now. You see how it's frying like that? And it's only going to take a second because I can see right now it is flash frying. And we're going to flip it over to the other side. Oh, and that looks good. And we're going to let it go a little bit more until it stops bubbling. Oh. And I'm going to do it one more time. Now, see what I mean by it puffing up like that? That's because I didn't get it thin enough. It probably needed to be a little bit thinner, but I think that's going to be just fine. Okay, let's go ahead and pull that little guy out. And I put some paper towels over here to catch the grease. And we are going to do the exact same thing with the next guy. Okay, this is our very last piece. Now, we're going to carefully, and I mean carefully, pull this grease off the fire. I don't want it on there any longer than it is. We do not, and I mean we do not want no uh-ohs. Of course, if it did, that would make for some great video, huh? Pull this off, and we're going to let that set aside. And then I'm going to pour that out into one of my containers. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cycle. I've got some soup up here cooking. Actually, it should be pretty close to being done. Oh yeah, it's starting to steam. And we're going to put it in place of where I had the grease bowl. And let that kind of heat up there. And right now we need to let this cool down so we can eat it because it is freaking... Oh yeah, that's really hot. So we're going to let that cool down a bit and let our soup warm up. Well, I think our soup's finally done because it is at a nice roaring bubble. So let's kind of pull. Oh yeah, it is warm. Probably a little bit too warm. Oh my. Yep, that's freaking hot. Hang on a second. Oh my. Okay, there's one more thing I want to stress to you. It's very important to me and very important to the environment. As you notice, I made a lot of trash. I mean, I've got tin foil Ziplocs, stuff everywhere. And I brought with me somewhere, there it is, a little trash sack to pack all this out with me. Because I don't care how hot you get the fire, not all that tin foil is going to burn, okay? So it is important to please pack your trash out. Now, the most important thing of all, let's try a piece of the fry bread. Man, that takes me back. That is so good. Now, heads up, this stuff is full of carbs. That's all it is nothing but carbs. You can use it for a wrap. You put honey on it. I like to put strawberries on top of it. Or I'm going to dip it in my soup here. And try not to burn myself. And eat it that way. This stuff is good. Sorry. It's been a long day. What? Yeah, still a little more. Okay, there you have it. We've made Native American fry bread. I'll put the recipe down in the description box. Real easy to make. Simple ingredients. Ingredients? I think that's going to do it for me. I'm going to eat, sit back, and enjoy this beautiful day, even though it's overcast. And that's going to do it. There's been another episode of Cooking with Bob. Comments are more than welcome. Heads up, it does take me a while to answer them. And like always, friends, thanks for watching. Oh my God, this is good. Mmm.